Hi, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Round Table. I am your host, Steven, and today I'll be talking about some of the underrated or under the radar albums from one of my other favorite groups of all time, Queen. First, we'll start off with 1984's The Work. After some people thought the missteps of jazz and maybe hot space, Queen had lost their way. Queen had decided to bounce back or give them something that's accessible. I think they were seeing that they were losing their fan base as much as a lot of fans liked them branching out and stretching their palette. At one point, a lot of fans saw Queen as kind of like a rock band and maybe a prog rock band at times, depending on who you talk to. And I think a lot of people said that they lost their way and wouldn't allow Queen to expand. And at this point, they had to kind of bring the reins back in. And although the album is called The Works, it is a relatively safe sounding album. Although there is a little bit of the electro pop sound, particularly on tracks like Machines and Keep Passing the Open Windows, is kind of reminiscent to those older albums like I just forgot the names, Hot Spaces kind of thing. But most of all, this is a rock album, a rock pop album. So you got like the first single, Radio Gaga. Everybody knows that one. Tear It Up is a great rocker. It's a Hard Life is a nice mid-tempo one. I really enjoy I Want to Break Free. Great video for that as well. If you ever seen that, it's a great video. Hammer to Fall, another great rock song. And then Is This the World We Created, a great little acoustic number at the end of the album. It may not be as inspired or as varied as some of the earlier Queen works, but it is a well-crafted album in my opinion, and still gives a lot of joy to me after all these years. And I go back to it. I think it deserves a little bit more love. Most compilations will put Radio Gaga and Hammer to Fall, but I think, I Want to Break Free should be up there as well. Is this the world we created? Should be played a lot more. A great track and deserves to be heard. Next up for me, a lot of people didn't like this album, The Miracle from 1989. This is Queen branching out a little bit more. They're kind of pushing the pop rock, the electro pop, the dance. There's a little of everything. You got these the opening of Party and Khashoggi's Ship, a double whammy of a song, interesting openers. Like this brings Queen to kind of go, this is Queen that I remember from the 70s. May not be hit single material, but it shows them trying to push it a little bit more. The Miracle, the title track, is a very mature song. Love that one. I Want It All, great rock track. The Invisible Man is kind of an interesting dance song. There's some days I really like it, and some days I can't be bothered. Breakthrough is great. And Scandal is great, and I really like the last track, Was It All Worth It, basically telling them everything they've done in their career and what they, good and bad, was everything worth it? They're questioning what they've done. I thought that's an interesting album that they question things, and, like that in The Miracle. It's a little bit mature, but also they do branch out a little bit more than they did on The Works. So I do enjoy it for that. It may not be up there with, News of the World, but it's still a solid album in my opinion. I think it deserves your a second listen for sure, and a third. And I think instead of putting just I Want It All on a greatest hits package, I'd like to see Breakthrough on there. I think that deserves to be on a greatest hits package. Was It All Worth It, for sure. I think it needs to be heard. I'm glad they remastered them in 2011 and re-released them, and hopefully it found a better appreciation. So with that being said, 1984 is The Works, and 1989 The Miracle, I think, are two underrated Queen albums. Again, I'm not saying they're going to top their classic albums from the 70s, but if you think these guys ran out of steam, I don't think so. I think there's a little bit of gas left in the tank, and there's a little spark left. I mean, I think at one point they had, like most bands, you have to keep the brand going. So sometimes you got to scale back and just give the people what they want. And that's a dual-edged sword where you kind of take away the creativity and give something that's a little bit more accessible a little easy more to put on your palate kind of thing. But with that being said, it's still Freddie Mercury and the Boys, and these guys aren't like their worst album is better than some bands' best album. So take it for what it is. But the Works and the Miracle, I think, are underrated albums in their repertoire and deserve a second chance. And I do hope there's some sort of anniversary edition of these albums, and they're given their just due again. I think they deserve it. There's worst albums that have gotten anniversary editions. Well, these things are left in the shadows. So let's bring them out and give them a little love there. So this is Stephen from the Round Table, wishing you the very best. Live the dream, and we will rock you. Or I will. Can I? Yeah, yeah. Can I say no? I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. I want to break free. And no, okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, with that being said, tell me, what do you think is an underrated Queen album or Queen song? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Tell me what you think. And again, I say it again. Live the dream. Take care, guys.